Hello third class students. In this lecture I'm explaining some important passages from chapter 1 in Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. I am focusing on one of the two major narrators in the novel, namely Mr. Lockwood. Then later on in the coming explanations I'm trying to shift to Nelladine, the second narrator. And throughout the analysis, I'm trying to focus on the character relationship, the reliability of the narrator, and the language style concerning Lockwood's impression about the characters he has met, and his description of Wuthering Heights, as well as the idea of the personality and the physical description of the other characters. The incipit of the novel starts with Lockwood visits Wuthering Heights. I've just returned from a visit to my landlord, the solitary neighbor that I shall be troubled with. This is certainly beautiful country. In all England, I don't believe that I could have fixed on a situation so completely removed from the stir of society. A perfect misanthropist's heaven, and Mr. Heathcliff and I are such a suitable pair to divide their desolation between us. A capital fellow. Now, Heathcliff is presented in these lines as someone who doesn't have a wife, and this is the first source of narrative information rendered through Mr. Lockwood's words. So Lockwood's job here is to tell us something about the character's current situation. He doesn't know about the background of all the characters he is meeting from chapter 1 up to the moment when he is talking with Nelladine about the past. Why? Because he is a visitor. He is the newcomer, the tenant in Thrushcross Grange. So what he's talking about is his impression about the characters he's talking to, or he is watching for the first time. In the same extract, we understand through Lockwood's words that the country that he is visiting is beautiful, but this description cannot be taken for granted. Why? Because it is unreliable. The first moment he is in Wuthering Heights, and he evaluates Wuthering Heights as somewhere which is so beautiful country. So how come that Mr. Lockwood, for the first time he visits Wuthering Heights, and he can provide a generalization about the beauty of the place? But this indicates something to us as readers, that since he likes this place, we understand something about the personality of Mr. Lockwood, that he is someone who is not gregarious, someone who is unsociable. Why? Because he makes some sort of similarity between his personality and the place he is visiting. When he said that I could have fixed on a situation so completely removed from the stir of society, this means that he doesn't like a place in which people are always there, a place in which we have a lot of social activities. He likes quiet places. Right? He likes places in which there are no parties or there are no social practices. Another source of information for us till this moment concerning this extract is that Lockwood evaluates also Mr. Heathcliff from the first moment, and even he is not talking to him the moment he arrives, but he generalizes about Mr. Heathcliff's personality. Okay, so the judgment about Heathcliff's personality is that Heathcliff is a capital fellow, and this means that the evaluation is based on personal experience, and we cannot depend, of course, on this type of evaluation. This type of evaluation concerning Heathcliff's personality through the eyes of Mr. Lockwood changes in the coming chapters. And Mr. Lockwood is going to change his impression about Heathcliff's personality and the way he receives people. So in this extract we understand a very important thing about Mr. Lockwood's personality and Mr. Heathcliff's personality. Mr. Lockwood is someone who is misanthropist. It means someone who doesn't like making friends, or he doesn't like the accompaniment of others. He doesn't like people. And about Heathcliff, for the first time we understand that Heathcliff is a capital fellow. But this is an invitation in order to question his evaluation concerning Heathcliff's current personality trait. Also in the first chapter, the first moment Heathcliff speaks, we understand a lot about the personality of that character through the type of the words and the idea of addressing Mr. Lockwood as a new tenant, as a guest in his house. This can be found in the following lines. "Thrushcross Grange is my own, sir," he interrupted, wincing. "I shouldn't allow anyone to inconvenience me. If I could hinder it, walk in." Now, in these lines, we can evaluate Heathcliff's verbal behavior. And, in fact, why does he talk in this particular style about Thrushcross Grange with Mr. Lockwood? And this indicates a lot to us about Heathcliff's personality. Heathcliff sounds impolite in such social interaction, where he receives his guest with such wrong judgment about Thrushcross Grange. Now he believes that the lodger would take over the possession of that house. His way of letting the guest come in is so rude and informal when he addressing him, "Walk in." This is an impolite way because this is a direct invitation to invite someone to get into the house. Without expressions of politeness, Mr. Heathcliff, from the first moment he talked with Mr. Lockwood, appeared to us very rude and violent in his treatment of his guests. The next extract reveals to us something extra about Mr. Lockwood's personality, that he is easily affected by appearances, as it is found in the next extract. But Mr. Heathcliff forms a singular contrast to his abode and style of living. He is a dark-skinned gypsy in aspect, in dress and manners a gentleman, that is as much a gentleman as many a country squire, rather slovenly, perhaps, yet not looking amiss with his negligence, because he has an erect and handsome figure and rather morose. So this is what we are talking about, that Mr. Lockwood is easily affected by what he sees. So he formed a wrong impression about Heathcliff's personality based on shape and looks to generalize about other character traits such as manner and gentleness. Thus Mr. Lockwood translates his observation through his guessing about Wuthering Heights and the members living there. So Mr. Lockwood is easily affected by appearances. Yes, that's true about Mr. Lockwood's personality. And he speculates a lot about Heathcliff and the setting. And also his language is hesitant and uncertain. Why? Because he used a lot of adverbs, just like perhaps and certainly. It means that he is not sure sometimes. But above all what he presents to us concerning evaluating Heathcliff's personality and his physical appearance, all of these descriptions cannot be taken for granted and we cannot depend upon. Why? Because from time to time he changes his impression, and we are going to see in the coming excerpts how Mr. Lockwood is trying to provide some sort of general impressions about the characters he meets, especially Hareton later on and Miss Cathy, Catherine's daughter.